Thank you very much. It's an honor for me to moderate this first panel of the Smart Tourist Congress Barcelona. And first of all, I would like to give the thanks to the organizers for giving the opportunity to introduce some of the results of our MET Sustainable Tourism community. For those who are not familiar with this community, let me explain you very briefly who we are and what we do. The MET Sustainable Tourist Community is an Interreg MET program. It's a European program that brings together 24 projects dealing with the development of sustainable tourism in the Mediterranean. It is involving more than 200 entities from different perspectives working to this development. And it is an investment of 50 million euro from the European Union to develop this kind of projects. It started in 2016 and will finish in 2022. Okay, and so what are these 24 projects are dealing with? We have projects trying to develop alternatives to mass tourism with particular emphasis on diversification, deconcentration, and breaking the seasonality. Also, another group of projects analyzing the impacts of tourism. And finally, another group working to improve the governance and the planning of the sustainable tourism. This community of projects is led by the Diputació de Barcelona in cooperation with other 6 Mediterranean entities. Our main task in this process is to transfer and capitalize the results of these 24 projects in order to, they could be transferred to other destinations in the Mediterranean. So this is why it was very interesting for us to participate in this event. And what we have done is to select some interesting tools developed by 3 of our projects and related to the topics of the Congress. So today we are going to showcase these 3 solutions developed by 3 of these projects in topics like tools for tourist flow regulation, generating knowledge for decision making, and big data and open data. We are going to travel to 3 out of the top 10 destinations in Europe. We are going to travel to Veneto, Andalusia, and Tuscany. Last but not least, let me remind you that if you have any questions, there is a chat box, and my colleague Cristina Vicentini will be moderating this chat box. So if you have any questions, you can write it down in this box. Okay, so let's move to know what have been these tool solutions developed by some of our projects related to smart tourism. Let's move first to Venice. I would like to introduce Dario Bertocchi. He's working in the University of Venice in Foscari, and he will explain some of the tools developed by the Shape Tourism project related to a platform of a smart tourist data system. So Dario, the floor or the screen is yours.
Thank you, Josep. Thank you for the invitation. Good morning, everybody. I will share my really brief presentation. Do you see it?
Yes, we see it.
That's perfect. So the project was called Shape Tourism. It was one of the first projects started and already finished 2 years ago. What we did was to try to shape some indicators. So we created an observatory, and that was for the Med area. So for all the region, the Med area. And we shaped indicators because we started with the Travel and Tourism Competitiveness Index that you probably know, because it's globally, because its use has different sub-indicators and composite indicators. And we started like that because we knew that we had the possibility to have data. So there was the data availability to build these indicators for all the country, for all the Med regions. But of course, this indicator is on the global level, so a higher scale. It's a ranking of countries. And we know that the destination have different characteristics. Different types in terms of history or culture or geography, and also different type of tourism, so seaside, business tourism, historical city tourism, so cultural tourism. So we wanted to make this indicator a little bit more close to the destination. So we adopt a different scale of analysis. So we went down to the regional level and we regionalize all the indicators of the Travel and Tourism Competitiveness Index. What we add to this tool is also the visitor perception. The visitor perception that we consider tourism, so tourists and visitors, so they traveled, but also in terms of, because we are in the Smart Destination Congress, one of the main output to build a smart destination is the well-being of the residents. We also collect information about the residents' perception, use social network data. So not official data that we put in our observatory, to add also the users' profiles, the users' rankings, the user scores, ratings, and we built an observatory that is open access, easy to use, because now I will show you really briefly how it works. And the results are customizable and shareable for the country. So for the region, sorry. So the Veneto region, that is the region of Venice, has these indicators for themselves, and we can compare between Veneto and Catalonia, and not compare with the older process, Italy with Spain. So we try to use these different scales. And the indicators are regarding competitiveness, attractiveness, and sustainability of the destination. And for those, we use official data from Eurostat. And the reputation that we detect the information of the visitors per accommodation, per food system, for hotel, and also attractions and things to do. So there are not official data and scores, and so the tools are pretty easy. They are online, and we can create different charts, different comparison between the regions, and discovering the regions similars, even if in different countries, discover the potential competitors in terms of prices, for example, or in terms of competitiveness or sustainability, and have these results. Those, for example, of the data, the user-generated content data, we did it at the municipality level. So we can also understand the differences between municipalities. And this map is the Veneto regions at the municipality level. With this data, we also create a carrying capacity scenario simulator with the aim to monitoring and the aim of prediction of the evaluation of the destination. So to understand the performance of the destination in region, at the regional level, also for the future. Of course, COVID stopped or at least changed a little bit this scenario simulator. So this was the overview of the Shape Tourism project with the two main results that we had: the observatory with competitiveness, attractiveness, sustainability indicators, and also the web reputation indicators, and use this data to monitoring the future trends of the destination with the tool for the simulation of the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dario. It's very interesting to see how you have integrated new dimensions in these observations of the tourism reality in the territory. Okay, next one will be Ana Moniche from the area of statistics and market research of Turismo Andaluz. He will showcase also an plus project, and it is also related to the information for the decision making. Anna, it's your turn.
Thank you, Josep. I will try to share my screen now. You see my screen now?
Yes, we see perfectly. Thank you.
Great. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. I am here representing the Mitomed Plus partnership. We were 9 partners because we started in 2017 and we ended the project at the beginning of 2020, January 2020. So the project is over now. But we were 9 partners from Italy, led by the region of Tuscany, partners from Spain, Cyprus, Croatia, and 2 relevant European networks like CPMR and Xtour. At Mitomed Plus, we developed at least 2 important smart tools. I'm presenting 2 tools because the first one without the second one is not complete. And the second one wouldn't exist without the first one. So I'm presenting 2 smart tools. The first one is a system of indicators. We implemented 33 indicators to monitor the impact of maritime and coastal tourism based on ETIs. We actually revised the indicators and we actually implemented them in a practical way in 15 destinations throughout Europe, throughout the partners. This system of indicators as ETIs involve 3 categories: the economic dimension, the social and cultural dimension, and the environmental dimension. And as well, as Dario has commented, the benefits of the official data that are open and available. The partnership also decided that whenever possible, the indicators should be calculated using information from official bodies, official statistics, in order to benefit the comparability, the harmonization of definition and methodologies, the credibility, the comparability, but also to look for a cost effectiveness of the development of the system of indicators and to increase the capacity of repeated measurement. The second tool I'm presenting now is the online common online platform. This tool provides a visual and intuitive presentation of the results of the system of indicators in such a way that it's easy to understand, also to benefit the interpretation, the same interpretation, regardless of the user, of the end user. So if you see the interpretation of the results, anyone could have the same interpretation of them. And also that what we were looking is that it was easy. So there is no need to have a strong statistical background or knowledge about indicators, so you could use the platform. The evolution of each indicators determine if we are in a better situation. So the platform will show a green light if we than the previous year, because we compare the performance of each indicators with the previous year. If it's similar evolution, it would be a yellow, and if it's worse, it would be a red light. So we use this universal traffic light system for the interpretation of the evolution. But also, as well as the comparing each destination with its own performance in the previous period, the online platform also allows to benchmark with other destinations. So this is one of the benefits of using official data, but also for those indicators that we had to calculate it without official data, with estimations or with different information. We implemented the same methodology, so they all could be comparable and benchmarked with the rest of the destination in the platform. So why do we think these tools are smart? Because observing and monitoring tourism data indicators is smart per se. It provides criteria to guide the setting of the objective that are specific and measurable, allows destination to visualize the evolution of numerous tourism phenomena and compare themselves with other destinations. It is also smart because it is achievable. This system of indicators and the online platform have already been tested in 15 Med destinations in Tuscany, Andalucia, Catalonia, and Cyprus. And it is used for informed planning of regional policy, regional tourism policies. It is realistic because it can serve as a reference to any tourist destination that wants the creation of a measurement system with a practical vocation. As these 33 indicators are a feasible task because we have already implemented them. It is time-oriented because it allows destination to visualize the evolution of numerous indicators. So these tools can be used to reflect the process of policymaking in the destination in order to better understand what has been done in the past and what needs to be done in the future. Although the project, MitoMed Plus project, is already finished, the platform is still in working condition. We are managing it from Tourism Andaluz. So if you go to this link, which I have highlighted in the slide, you can join us, and then you can compare yourself, benchmark with other destinations, and also you have guidelines in order to implement the indicators and to use the platform. So from my side, this is the results of MitoMed Plus. I'm happy to answer any question you may have.
Okay, thank you, Anna. As you can see, I'm here now. There were some technical problems, but now we have solved it. Okay, thank you for this precise presentation of this MitoMed platform. Now let's move to Florence. We have Manuela Bigi, who is the manager in charge of European projects and digitalization of the Tourism Trade Department of Tuscany region. She will talk us about the edit data results. Manuela?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you and good morning from Florence. So we are talking about tourism, but Florence, which is usually overcrowded with tourism today, and unfortunately, during these last months, it's quite without anybody. But the tools that we implemented within ERIT data, it's anyway useful and interesting. What is ERIT data? ERIT data is a project implemented by 13 institutions around Europe. And in fact, it implements a web platform, an online platform which collects a lot of data, open and big data and other type of data that can be useful to manage in general smart cities, but in the specific within ERIT data, it helps us to manage tourism flows. The issues in tourism is not on how many tourists are visiting a city or a destination, it's more how to manage them at best. I make just an example. If you're living in Florence, just to make an example, you see some streets which usually are crowded. You can't even walk in that street. Then you see few streets behind them, nobody is there. So that cannot be possible. I mean, I'm living in Florence, so I can manage it without problem. But if somebody is not living in Florence, it's a tourist, or it's a manager of destination, or it's an institution dealing with these issues, he needs something that supports his decision. And it cannot make by himself, you need technology to do this. So this is ERIT data. ERIT data use a web platform, the name is Snap4City. It has been implemented by the University of Florence, the DISI department, the professor Nesi, which is the professor which is implement this. It's using artificial intelligence, so it's keeping different types of data, putting them together and restitute them in an easy way. Because let me say, as a public institution dealing with data, that if you want to use data, you must have them ready to use. It must be presented in a simple and in an immediate way so that it can be easy to use. Otherwise, you risk to be lost in many different information. And I mean, so I'm asking all professional universities that are participating today in this Congress to think which is the final user. So in case of destination and public institution, which offer us really added value, is the easy and ready to use of qualified data. What is also ERIT data? ERIT data test this platform in 6 different pilots around Europe, so Spain, Portugal, France, Italy, Greece, and Bosnia-Herzegovina, and we test how to use these at best. I make just the example in Florence. Florence, the city of Florence already developed Feel Florence, which is the app of the city. So tourists which arrived in the city can open the app and have a lot of useful information from them. The app linked to the online platform can restitute relevant information. For example, if you're interested to visit Uffizi, but at the moment they are crowded and there are a lot of people there, you can move in a different museum or location, which may be interesting for you anyway. So the artificial intelligence behind the system can help you to do this. So this is interesting, not just for institution dealing with tourism and destination managers, but also for tourists that can benefit from this type of information. Why is it smart? It's not smart just because it's technology, it's smart also because use technologies in a very intelligent way. So I will glad to offer you any other informations about this. Anna was explaining the idea of smart in a very well way, so I won't go on with this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Manuela. Now we have seen that you have developed within your 3 projects these tools, these solutions. All these solutions, we understand that has been tested in pilot cities and are ready to use. So I believe that it's important to know how to replicate these solutions, because European money has been funded, have been spent to develop these tools, but it is important to reach a wider audience. So how do you, what would be the message to the audience? If there are any other destinations that could like to replicate your tools, what is your message? Or do you have any examples of successful replication of your tools in other destinations? Do you want to start, Dario?
Yes, sure. So, because I really told you that our project already finished 2 years ago, we had this nice and catchy platform with all the regions, but actually we didn't know what to do after the project. So we started speaking with the regions, the DMOs, at least in Italy, because we're close by, we have relations, and they liked the platform. And they like and they ask us to replicate, and so to try to adapt what we did for the Shape Tourism project for them. So we actually did three cases. One is for Puglia region that wanted to elaborate their own tourism observatory. And so they took the 3 main indicators that we develop also inside their observatory. So the attractiveness, competitiveness, and sustainability. And we updated these indicators every year when, of course, Eurostat gives us new data and new sources, and of course the user-generated content. It's continuously. We decided to do 3 or 4 years like a contract with the different uploadings during the years. So for Puglia, their business needs was comparing Puglia with other European regions to understand, for example, if the seaside in Puglia was competitive or not between Balearic and Greece and Croatia. So we developed this platform for them using the same indicators, but we a little bit adjust our project, our product. And the second one was for the Veneto region that was not involved in the first stages of the project, but they last years they did the new development plan, and to do that they did living labs, so cooperation with stakeholders and living labs here in our university on different topics, sustainability, but also a different type of tourism, seaside versus mountains versus other activities that you can do in Veneto region, for example, spa, lakes, and of course, cultural cities. And so we gave them part of the Shape Tourism observatories as a support tool to create the strategy, so the new strategies. And in my personal opinion, this it's already usable for a lot of destinations or a lot of regions that wasn't involved in our project, because we try to map all the MED regions. And with another project that was Italy and Croatia project, we capitalized what we did for the MED project, and we extended for all Europe. So now in another tool that I will share with you the link again, you have all Europe at NUTS2 level, so at the regional level, with the same indicators of the Shape Tourism project. So those was the 3 steps that we did further after the end of the project.
Thank you, Dario. Anna, you said that you have 15 destinations in 5 regions already included in the platform of Mitomed. If any destinations wants to join your platform, what should they do?
Okay. Yes, actually, we have more than 15 destinations, because along the project we had in the transferability process stage, we included more destination. And actually, after this, we have also had some requests for joining the platform, some more requests. So we have some more destination from other regions in Europe. As I said before, you can join the platform if you want. I showed you the link and how to do it. And then I think the usefulness of this is that it will guide you through the process of building a system of indicators in any destination. You have the guidelines, and you have a file where you can see how to construct each indicators and the possibilities. Because when we were implementing the indicators, the partners, we all were writing down the process and the different choices that we had to make when building an indicator. And also, as the case that Dario has just explained, we have capitalized this platform because Best MED project, which is a MED project that is developing now, is using as a base this platform to construct their own system of indicators as well, based on Mitomed Plus indicators and open platform.
Great. Manuela, in your case, you are still in the pilot phase, but I don't know if you want to add something about this replicability.
We are still in the pilot phase, so we are still testing ourselves. So it's a little bit early to open up, but we will share everything you need as information for sure. I was sharing just by the chat the links to my colleague, which are managing Herit Data platform. So it's a little bit early, but let me add that there is a lot of interesting around this, because we are working in different projects. Panoramed, for instance, is one of these, together with the tourist community of MED, and the need for data is requested at all destination levels. So this project that the community is implementing, I think they are very, very a great occasion for everybody.
Okay, what are your pilot cities, Manuela?
My pilot city, sorry, I was very short because I didn't want to get too many time.
No,
pilot city will be Florence, in my case, through the app Feel Florence, which is an app already existing for the city. Consider that this is my personal advice, so make the use that you want. For a region or for a destination, it's very relevant to implement tools that already exist and they have some connection with the reality. So during project, we don't need to invent or to create something very distant for us. In case that you have some existing tools like the app Feel Florence, or in case of Tuscany region, Visit Tuscany, which is our regional portal for tourism, it's better if you try the way to connect these new tools with the existing ones, so that you can make something that is very useful for the destination and you are sure that it will be used, because sometimes you risk that you put interesting things developed during the project in your desk and you don't use it. So please take care of this. I would like just to add in our case that the Snap for City platform is GRDP compliant. So this is another important issue, that when you deal with data, you must be sure that the data can be used and you don't have any problem at legal level.
Okay, thank you. I've got a third question for you, and also we have some other questions from the audience. From my side, even those projects were started some of them some years ago. You have designed and produced some tools and solutions in a pre-COVID context. So I think it's our obligation now to analyze how these tools could be adapted to the future, to COVID, the new COVID-19 scenario. So do you have some ideas about this? Have you taken into account how to adapt your tools for the trends that seems that will be developing in the future? We have seen this summer a lot of new trends in the tourism. Anyone?
May
Dario?
start. Yeah. And so, of course, as Florence, but here in Venice, it's one. As Florence, Venice is one of the main example of over tourism, over capacities, over, and now it looks like that it's a kind of a dead city. Residents went years ago, so half of the city with restaurants and hotels are closed. But we think that now it's like something that maybe will shock you. Carrying capacity is still important. So we need to have a different lens. We need to have a different view, but the same concept of the sharing, the carrying capacity should be useful also to manage this situation. Because, for example, in the carrying capacity, we try to different flows, so differentiation of the flows. We try to push the possibility to book a visit, to book something, not to avoid overcapacities, to avoid congestions. And that was related to the problems of unsustainable tourism and negative externalities to the destination. Now, if we shift a little bit in the context of post-COVID, the social distances that it's needed and required, but also the need to visit a city in a safe way, so booking all the facilities, also the museums, all the public transportation, and have a limit on number of visitors or of tourists. Actually, it's the same actions, no? And what we did for the second tool that I show you was the trend of the sharing of the carrying capacity. So the simulation tool gave us the situation of 2020, 2025, and the future. Of course, this prediction is not good anymore, but we can use this tool to stop a little bit and to understand which the destination was in danger, and maybe use this moment to change the way, the path, the future trends of the destination. And this one of the point. The second point, we can use this this tool to manage the gap that we will have it for tourism development. So with the our tool, we had the results that this limit we will have it in 2020. But now, because tourism stopped globally, maybe we will need 3, 4, 5 years more to reach the level that we predict. So I think overcapacity, managing sustainability is not over. We need to continue working and studying and of course acting to reach the sustainable goals.
Thank you. Anna, very brief, please.
Yes.
Since we have 8 minutes left.
Yep. Well, I think there are two interesting considerations related to these tools and COVID-19 scenarios. The first one and most straightforward is that having the proposed indicators calculated is the best way to assess the real impact for the tourism sector. If we are able to sketch the scenario we're facing in the present and in the short term, we might be able to design useful policy actions to support the sector and its sustainability. Actually, the absence of tourism gives us an opportunity, if we may call it so, to assess how have the social and cultural sustainability evolved and the environmental sustainability evolved in the absence of tourism. The second consideration is referred to the benefits, the actual benefits of measuring. The level of detail, the quality of the data, the correct interpretation and its use will certainly have a direct impact on the effectiveness of policies action to deal with COVID-19 crisis. This has been demonstrated for COVID-19 measures at EU and national level. If the measures are for COVID-19, if the measures are stricter now, it's not because the situation is very different from what it was before 13th of October, when the traffic light combined indicator system of the European Union was published. It was already bad, but it is because the criteria for judging it have changed and are clearer now. So we can have stricter measures and we can take action. I'm going to read you a statement. It is, we need to develop quantitative indicators, public and with transparent methodology to harmonize decision. This has been claimed by epidemiologists all through this COVID-19 crisis. And it is valid for managing tourism, sustainability, and for any other aspect of management. So this is what is useful for this COVID-19 scenario.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Before giving the floor to Manuela, let me put you a question coming from the audience also. That they are asking what are the main obstacles for the adoption of such tools? It's political will or technical reasons, and what are the obstacles? Manuela?
Do I have to start with the answer, or as you prefer?
As you want. Yeah. So we have 5 minutes left.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm following the way. The first is post-COVID situation. As I said in my introduction, Herit data was dealing not on how many tourists, but how to manage tourist flow. So during the COVID situation, the flows management is very relevant issues, because you must keep social distances, you must to manage the flows when the tourists arrive, for sure. So this is a key issues which is very relevant for the actual situation. So arid data will remain a key project for Tuscany in our case, but for our partner too. Which are the main obstacles? For instance, if you have to test in your region the arid data tools, you must have some data to put in the platform. That means, for example, to be very concrete, if you want to measure tourists around the city, you need the sensors around the city. So if you don't have this, you have a lot of information within the platform because you already find these informations which are rich and implementing during the years, but you won't find your own information. So let's say that first needs it's to have availability of data. So be sure that you have got data and you can use this. So just to be very, very short.
Okay.
May I add one difficulties that we found?
Yes. A couple of sentences.
Yeah, really, it's political aspects. Because if we can create rankings, as a university, we are over parties. We create rankings, and then we go to Veneto region or Puglia region. The Ministry of Tourism said why our region is not the first. So we don't want to show this to the others. And this was a problem that we found often.
Anna?
Yes, for the case of Mitomed Plus, as we were dealing with a local destination, one of the first problems that we faced was like the capacity and the administrative capacity, the time for the management of the indicators, because those that have to build the indicators and to use them for policy making were working at the destination, and they didn't have like the correct background to use these indicators, and they didn't have the time to update it and to manage them. So the partners had to do like this extra work of building the indicators and show them how to use them, the indicators. But they don't have the time now to update these indicators and to use them for policy making. So this is the main difficulty that we found.
Okay, so thank you very much for this interesting discussion. We are on time. We have seen a precise description of the tools and solutions you have developed. We have seen the conditions for replicability, and we have seen also how these solutions could be adopted in the new COVID scenario, that in some sense it could be an opportunity for all the people working in the sustainability of tourism. There were things that were unthinkable some months ago, and now we can develop these concepts of, for instance, like Dario said about the carrying capacity. So thanks to the audience to participate. If you need some more information about these tools, we are totally available to answer your questions. You can contact the Diputación of Barcelona or directly to the projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rodríguez, and all the speakers in this session for sharing your experiences with all the people who are following us. And we will now continue with the roundtable discussion on the implementation and development of management initiatives to meet the challenges of intelligent tourism in its main dimensions. The session will be moderated by Mrs. Lola Buendia, Digital Communication and Marketing Manager at Hostel Tour. Mrs. Buendia, you may start, please. Thank you.
Hi, hello, thank you for the presentation. It's been a pleasure to be with you again 1 year more. It's a good thing that we could make it online. Next year, hopefully, it will be in person again. I have the honor to moderate this debate in which we have such outstanding professionals, all women, in fact, and we have a female roundtable. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm